When you hire someone to care for a sick or aging loved one, you shouldn't have to welcome someone with a criminal record into your home. But tonight, 10 Investigates Emerald Morrow uncovers big gaps in Florida's law that could allow that one thing to happen.
He was the love of my life. I miss him every day. Yesterday was his birthday. And so to honor him, I did a flower toss in the water and talked to him.
Because Sue Barber says water is where Bruce felt most at home.
Bruce James Barber was my husband of 30 years, and he was a marine scientist.
But a few years back, a crippling cancer destroyed his health. Sue hired a home health aide to help care for him. What she didn't know, Sharisa Powell Stackhouse had a criminal past. It took 10 Investigates less than an hour to find multiple felony cases. One for forgery, another for stealing from a client's home, then reselling that property. She was sentenced to probation in both cases. And now, Sue says Stackhouse never returned a nearly $3,000 deposit after Bruce died.
I was told verbally I would get it back, but that didn't happen.
Hello, may I speak to Sharisa?
We called, emailed, and tried to visit Stackhouse. She eventually told us she sent Sue's money back and even offered to show us proof, but she never followed through. The Manatee County Sheriff's Office says their detectives can't do anything because it's a civil matter, but 10 Investigates found she could still be breaking the law. Stackhouse's contract with Sue stated her business was a home health agency. Records show she does not have a license for that. But Stackhouse told us by phone, as a home health aide, she didn't need a license, and that got 10 Investigates looking into the law. The state tells us no one in Florida or even the nation regulates home health aides. That means independent aides who don't work for a licensed home health agency, don't have to be registered with the state, don't have to have any background checks, and are free to work in your home, even with a criminal record.
Is there something more that needs to be done or should be done?
I would love for there to be something that would protect the client.
Denise Belleville is executive director of the Home Care Association of Florida. She says there are two types of state background checks. Level 1, which mostly checks records in Florida. Then there's Level 2, which checks state and national records as well as fingerprints. Home health agencies must use Level 2 checks when making hires. That's opposed to no background checks for aides working on their own.
So in that instance, that would be up to the consumer who's hiring them to run those background screenings.
Something Sue learned the hard way.
She had a record, a criminal record that I was not aware of.
Do you recognize this person?
Until we told her. She found Stackhouse through care.com, an online platform that pledges 100% of caregivers are background checked. Except Stackhouse fell through the cracks. The company said she used different profiles to circumvent the system. But after 10 Investigates told the company what happened with Sue, they kicked her out completely and refunded all $2,940 of Sue's missing money.
You came to the rescue after about a year of my trying to do that on my own.
But with little state regulation for individual home health aides.
Unless something is done about it, it's just going to continue.
There is one area in Florida that recognizes the problem. In 2016, Palm Beach County started a caregiver registry. It requires any home caregiver working in the county to have an ID badge and a Level 2 background check. So, if someone is arrested, the county immediately gets flagged. Palm Beach County's public safety director tells me they have more than 32,000 caregivers enrolled, and background checks have helped them remove hundreds with criminal records.
It's also to help curtail any abuse or neglect or exploitation that's happening here in Palm Beach County. And I think it's a good tool. It's another level of protection that we have for our residents here in Palm Beach County.
Is this something you think should be implemented statewide?
I do. I think that layer of protection is really important to our most vulnerable population. So I think that it would be a good statewide requirement.
While Palm Beach County is the only place that has this program in Florida, Representative Lindsey Cross, who served on the Health and Human Services Committee, says the next legislative session could be an opportunity for changes.
I think the example from Palm Beach County that you provided is a great example of looking at ways to kind of strengthen some of the requirements. I think something like that could be explored at the state level. I think it's the type of policy that people should be able to support, because someday they or their loved ones will probably need those services.
Action Sue says she wants someone to take immediately.
I don't want this to happen to anybody else.
Emerald Morrow, 10 Investigates.